Hey everybody, this is your girl, Quadria Marie. I'm just giving people some time to come on. This is my first show of 2023, and I thought it was very fitting to do it in my birthday month, the month of February, the greatest month of all the months of the year. So it's my birthday month. My birthday is actually next Tuesday, February 7th. So I'm excited about that. So like I said, I just give people a couple moments to come on, but again, it's my first show of 2023. I believe my last show was November of 2022. So you guys see what the topic is for tonight, doing what you fear while still afraid. Something that I know a lot about that's been happening to me, something that I've been dealing with personally. So that's why I wanted to come on and talk about this topic for my very first show. Again, I give people some time to come on, but if you are on now, you can say hi to me. I'm here. I will respond back to you. um, it's Wellness Wednesday. I feel like every day of the week is it's a wellness day for yourself, but it's Wellness Wednesday, so I just want to represent for that. So again, if you're on, just say hello to me so I know you're here. Um, I'm glad I got through mid work week so far. So that's a positive note. We got 2 more days to go. At least most of us only have 2 more days to go before the weekend comes in. So I'm trying to get myself together, gather up for what will be my birthday weekend. Like I said, my birthday is on Tuesday the 7th. So this is my little celebration weekend. I am taking off from work though on Tuesday. So I make sure that I'm one of those people that when it's like my birthday, I'm just like, I'm gonna stay my behind home. I don't care if I'm just in the house on Tuesday. You know, it's the fact that it is my birthday. But again, I'm one of those people who loves to celebrate the entire month. But I feel like your birthday is a special day. So I just want to just, just enjoy the fact that I am here to, see another birthday. I can't believe that it's going to be my 38th birthday. Oh, God. It's so hard for me to imagine actually saying that, turning 38 years old. It's unreal because I just remember being 5 years old, 10 years old, even 15 and 20 years old, and 38 seeming so old. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, but when I used to look at 38-year-old women, I used to be like, oh, she's up there. She's up there in age. And of course, I looked at my mom and my aunts and other relatives and cousins that were older than me. And when they were reaching those milestones, it seemed so old to me. But it's funny because when you reach your 30s, you realize how young being 30 something or even 40 something is. And I would even say even 50 something. So it's unreal. You don't know what that age is like until you actually get to that age, and that's the case for all of us. Hey, cousin, what's up, Sergey? Thank you for coming on again. Like I said, this is my first show. I wanted to talk mostly primarily about doing what you fear while still afraid. I have my little notes and stuff here. I always like to do printouts. I haven't done in a while, but I actually do like to share when I come across things that I've seen others print out. And I just like to give not just my opinion, but I like to share my own. And I believe in my next podcast, I am going to have a guest come back on. But I figured this was my first one. I said this might be good for me just to come on myself, just to briefly talk to you guys. I'm probably not going to stay on too long, but I do want to come on and, like I said, talk about this topic and just let you guys see me, for my first podcast here. Um, Obviously, this is a bit difficult for me. My mom, Danita, if you guys aren't aware, passed on December 13th. My mom was pretty much 9 out of 10 shows. My mom will be here. As of this point, 7 minutes into the show, my mom would have already spoken. and she would have already said, hey, Q&T, shouting out me and my significant other, Tyrone. She would have already been on here. And if not, she would have came on later and she would have commented on. So this is actually very difficult for me. Hey, what's up? This is very difficult for me because my mom is, like I said, always here. My mom is big support of my media. She's been a support with me all through high school and college, with me pursuing all media things, radio, television, writing, all things journalism. And she's always been there to support me. So I said, I don't want to go too long without me getting back to doing something that I love to do, interviewing people, podcasting, whether it's I'm in person or I'm here, live streaming. I love talking to people. I just love to talk and share what's on my mind and my thoughts. And, it hasn't been that long since I lost my mom, who I consider another guardian angel of mine, my biggest guardian angel. And I know she's here with me now. I actually have her picture. I don't know if you guys can see it behind me like that, but I have one of her pictures behind me that I printed out. So my mom is always watching me. I have pictures of her throughout our living room, and my mom is always with me. 24/7. I think of my mom. I could be at work. Obviously, I'm doing other things, even talking to you guys, and my mom is still on my mind. Even if I don't mention her name, my mom is still there. And I'm starting to get to the place now that when I do talk about her, it's something funny, that she said or did, or something that someone else is doing that just reminds me of my mom. And I started thinking about what things that she would say and how she would respond. And her and I do a lot of similar things. So again, I didn't want to wait, like I said, too long to come back to doing this show, because my mom was such a big support of me doing my podcast and anything that I decided that I wanted to do. So I said, you know what? Let me start getting myself together. This is going to be a long process. My mom and I talk every day. Like I said, she comes on and watch my shows and things. So I understand that, I'm going through this tough, grieving process. But I also think about the fact that, my mom would want me to, to move forward and to continue and to do all the other things that her and I have talked about, as well as things that I may not have mentioned to her. But that's probably very slim, because we talk about so many different things, everything. So my mom is aware of all the different dreams and goals that I have, as well as Tyrone's. So, we both told ourselves we just have to continue on things that we said that we want to do. So as you guys are coming on, yes, thank you. It's really difficult. My mom was my best friend, and I will say is my best friend. I have plenty of friends, and I would say best friends here on earth, but my mom is still my number one person, and that's always gonna be the case. So again, I thank you guys for coming on. What's up, Kai? What's up, cuz? So, any support that you guys shown, and I just want to thank people again. As far as the GoFundMe, people have really came through. Had really came through, supporting my mom's homegoing service. So I was really, thankful for that. And I'm always going to be thankful for that. I couldn't rest until my mom was resting. So now I feel like my mom is at peace. I feel like she is resting, and she knows that, I will be okay. I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm here to let her know that, I will be okay. I'm not okay, but I'm also going to be, okay. So if you guys have anything that you want to share, while I'm here talking, like I said, the next show, I am going to have a guest on. I don't know if it's going to be next week, probably the week after, because I'm going to be doing my birthday week thing. But I might actually come on. Let me not say that. I probably will come on live on Facebook and I do a stream, just because it's my birthday, and I had mixed emotions about it. Obviously I'm happy to celebrate, but also thinking about the fact that my mother's not here to celebrate it with me. She's never obviously missed a birthday of mine, whether it was in person or, telephone or video. She's always been one of the first people to, reach out to me. So now I'm just, in a different place right now. I kind of don't want to talk about the police killings. I might actually do that on another podcast with someone else. I don't want to delve into that because it's a little bit too deep, more than what want to talk about for tonight's show. I have a specific topic that I kind of want to gear to, if that's okay. So that's why I want you guys, to just join in and just talk about, things that maybe that you're fearful of, right now. You guys can always comment about that. I definitely have my things that I I plan to share with you guys. And one of those, obviously, is losing my mom, learning how to live on in life without having her her presence here. So I'm definitely fearful of me making certain choices and decisions in life that I will always confide in my mother about. Um, Again, she's not physically here for me to to reach out to, which is extremely difficult because it doesn't matter what it is that's happening in my life. I would go to my mom. Anything, if whether I'm fearful of it or not, but especially if it's something that I'm nervous about, whether it's switching careers or moving. As you guys know, Ty and I moved to a different state. Both of us moved to a different state that we were residing in. That was a big fear, but at the same time, it was something we both were excited about. So again, you guys can share what you may have in your mind, but these past few months for me, I feel like I have been facing a lot of fears. And what's crazy, I feel like that's just the tip of it. I feel like I have a lot more things that I'm fearful of, and in a way I would say also have as a worry. But I want to talk about that as well because I have some things regarding that. Again, you guys can share what is things that you might be fearful of or afraid, because I'm learning that in life you can't just let fear, as they say, hold you back. Fear has held plenty of people back that I know personally, and people I also don't know personally, where they actually seem as though their life is just stuck in one position and not moving forward, and they're not moving backwards, which is not the best place I believe to be. And you're just there, pretty much trying to figure out, what should I do now? What steps should I take now? And a lot of times you can't just stay content with things. You actually have to make that choice of, am I gonna just let this fear overtake me, and am I not going to do anything? And I see that happen a lot, where people just don't do anything because they are fearful, and at times you have to just do things. I'm starting to learn how to not overthink things too much. I have a big problem of thinking a lot. So I kind of just feel like I can't think so much on things. I need to just do it. Even while I'm still afraid and I don't know what the consequences is. And a big thing for me is the unknown, not knowing what is going to happen. And of course, for the most part, we're out here living day by day. We don't know what's going to happen. We really don't know. And this is whether this is good or bad or ugly. We don't know what things are going to happen to us or what's in store for us. We can plan, and I'm a big planner. I like to plan things. I like to say what I'm going to do the next day, what I'm going to do the next week, the next month, the next 6 months. I'm always planning things. And of course, things always end up totally opposite of how I expected them to be. So again, that's another thing we all have to learn, is the fact, accept the things that that we do have control over, and also accept the things that we don't have control over, and know that we do not have the power within us to always know what's going to happen. The unknown is just always going to be there, and it's not necessarily something to be fearful of. The fact that we don't know how things are going to be. There are things in my life right now that I want 1,000%. Right now, 1,000,000%, I can say. And I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen, if it's in the cards with me. So I'm starting to get to that place in life where I'm accepting things, but I'm also in that place where if the possibility it's there, I'm going to reach for it. Until I know for a fact that's something, cannot happen, I'm not going to, accept things as it is. It's hard because it's like once you get to a certain age in life, you feel like you should be feeling like you're settled, and then when you don't feel like that, people look at you as though you're always chasing something. You're always going to be chasing this, and you're always going to be chasing money. You're always going to be chasing, fortune or fame, whatever it is you want to say, people or success that people love to say. But I feel like, to each his own. What I may view as successful, the next person may view differently. So it's almost as like, who are you to judge someone else who wants to keep achieving certain things? I don't think it necessarily means that you're not happy with, where you are. I definitely think that person can be happy with what they have and be thankful for what they have and still want more and still know that they can do more. Because like I said earlier, really, we don't know what's going to happen the next day. Tomorrow is not promised, as we all are aware of. So you can't sit there and just be like, okay, this is what it is. I feel like you have to put your best foot forward, and life obviously is so short that you have to just do what you can every day. You have to reach your full potential, or whatever it is you feel is your full potential. I don't think any of us have the right to just sit back and just accept whatever it is and just say, well, that's the end. I'm at this age, or this happened to me, or I'm disabled. I'm not able to do these things anymore. I don't like that limited type of thinking. You may have to just go about the way you're doing something a little differently. And of course, a lot of that deals with your mindset, how you think, as we know, trickles down into how you feel. And I feel like that is carried out into the universe. So I just want to get briefly into my notes as you guys are coming on and joining me. Again, this is my first show back, 2023. Again, my birthday is on Tuesday, so it's like I said, it's a weird feeling because my mom is not here to send me a card or to call me, to tell me happy birthday. So I just kind of have to imagine that she is doing that up in heaven. So again, let me see what I can start with. I have this printout. It says the 6 signs that fear is holding you back. So I just wanted to share something briefly from it. Hopefully, I'm hoping that it can help, someone out there that might be having issues with fear. So the first thing, and I agree with this one here, when they're talking about 6 different clues that you may be fueled by fear, not freedom. The first one says fear sees only the downside. It says while nearly every choice has an upside and a downside, someone in a fearful state only identifies the worst that could happen. That is very true. It's something that I am working on myself, learning not to look at just the downside of fear. There are upsides to it. And again, that's part of what I was mentioning earlier, changing the way that you view things. Fear is not always a bad thing. That fear could actually be what you need to propel yourself forward. The next one, they said, fear doesn't let you stop to think it through. Fear tells you to react immediately. That is another great point. Sometimes you do have to actually slow yourself down, think things through, as it says, and not just react instantly. That instant reaction can actually cause you to make the wrong choice in the moment. This is a big one for me, the third one. Fear tells us to avoid anything new or unknown. And that's kind of what I was speaking about earlier this in the show. They said fear prefers that we stay in a familiar, even a painful situation rather than step into the unknown. Again, very important part, something to think about. You can't just, like I said, feel like you're staying stuck in a certain position. I feel like you do have to branch out and do something new. And sometimes that new thing is very scary, whether it's, bungee jumping or, starting a new job or new career. You have to just do it. And that goes back to the other point. Fear doesn't let you stop to think it through. You just have to just do things. That's one of my biggest mottos, I think, for 2023 is not saying to go out and don't think at all, but don't think too much into to things. Let me see. They have other good points and stuff here. So first, recognize where you're coming from fear, and just give yourself time and space. Very, very important. Give yourself time and space to hear other voices besides fears in any decision. Consider making a concrete list of pros and cons in a given situation. Then wait until you're in a better place to make whatever decision you need to make. And again, it's just sitting back and I guess I would say analyzing the situation, but don't overanalyze too much. Like I said, people tend to make decisions right sometimes on the spot when they're at the height of their fear versus actually sitting back and giving yourself time to, like they said, to make a better decision. And again, all these steps and things that I'm sharing with you guys and I'm reading about, I myself have to pay more attention to it. Trust me, it's hard, but some reason I actually feel good when I do something that I felt like I was afraid to do, and probably still afraid while I'm doing it. But as I'm doing it, the fear starts to subside. It just starts to fade away. And as you guys all know, when you do something and you get it done the first time, you feel like now you can do it 100 more times. And you're looking at yourself like, damn, what was I so afraid of at that moment? And of course, you have all these different mixed emotions about whatever it is, what could happen, because we're all fearful of, what the consequences are going to be and what other people are going to think about it, what you're going to think about yourself if it becomes a failure of yours. But I'm at this point in life, I done failed so many times already that I end up learning how to utilize that fear for my best interest. So when other people be looking out, oh, damn, I'm scared, that this is gonna, mess up my money, or this is gonna have people looking at me funny. I'm just like, well, this is your life. You cannot live your life, for the next person, and they can't live theirs for yours. You have to live out your own journey in this world. The risk that you're willing to take is not meant for the next person to take. So you have to actually look within yourself and look at your own fears and figure out, as I said earlier, weighing the pros and cons of, your decisions. You have to sit back and make that choice. I don't care if it's relationship or if it's your career, or you're deciding, do you want to take a trip, to Spain or wherever by yourself. These are decisions that, you have to decide on your own. And you have to really think, like, if I don't do this, am I going to live in regret after that? And you don't want to be sitting there and looking at yourself and saying, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Why didn't I do this? When I had, the opportunity, because as we all know, things happen in life so much that you really don't know. Excuse me, my nose is running. Ty gave me a cold, y'all. You don't know when something drastic, can change your life. You may not be able to do that what you said you wanted to do, or at least not in the way that you originally planned. So hey MJ, what's up, y'all? What's up, Chrome? Thank you guys for joining again. This is, like I said, my first show back this season for the new year 2023. So I'm just talking about doing what you fear while you're still afraid. Just like you said, being in the moment, just doing it. Not focusing so much on it, and like I said, not overthinking things. We just need to all stop doing that. Ty says the biggest risk in life is the ones you don't take. Yeah, I agree 100,000% with that. MJ says a teacher once told me sometimes the things you're most afraid of turn out to be the most fun. Yeah, that is true. The process of that, and I can attest to that myself. Things that I really thought I was, afraid of, as I was doing them, I'm like, okay, it's really not, as bad. And as MJ said, they end up being the most fun things that you might actually go back and repeatedly do. But, every risk is different. There's different levels of risk. And of course, like I said, you have to look at things from all different sides. But I think you have to start with the small ones. If you can take that little small risk and you just build yourself up from there, the bigger risk won't seem as big. And I actually think the bigger risk in life probably are the most the most fun in the end, even if they don't turn out the way that you expect them to be. I'm sure that you guys have experience with things that you were afraid of that didn't work out in your favor at that moment, and you still learn from them. They still was blessings to you. So I've learned to, see things that way as well. Every failure is not a failure to me. Like I said, it's lessons learned. And it's always a good thing. I know we don't want to be repeatedly learning the same lesson, but some of us are a little bit more hard-headed than others, that it takes a few times for us to get it. But once you get it, you get it, and you could just move on to the next lesson. I have some more notes here, printouts, I should say, where they're talking about don't let fear stop you. It says you can overcome your fears. You just need to learn how. And I think that's with any type of self care, I would say, because I think this is part of having a self-care and taking care of yourself and getting out of this fear. But it says everyone has fears. That doesn't mean there's anything seriously wrong. But if your fears prevent you from doing things that you truly want to do, then you have a real problem. They're just talking about, big or small. You can get out of not letting fear stop you. One of the first things this article mentions is identifying your fear. It says, be specific with yourself about what you fear. For instance, as you prepare for the summer, you might think about how you wish you could overcome your fear of swimming. However, as you reflect on this, you might realize that your fear really involves swimming in the ocean. Even some clues about how to begin tackling your fear, such as starting in calm pool waters. So it's just little baby steps, like I was mentioning earlier. You don't have to necessarily just jump in, to the deep end, even though that actually might get you the best results that you want. Because like I said earlier, sometimes you just have to do it, the thing that you are most afraid of. But I also agree with, if you're not ready for that, to start off, like they said, in calm pool waters. And once you do that, now you're just like, okay, all right, I got that down packed. So now I can move on to the next thing. The next step they mentioned, it says develop self-compassion. People too often respond to their fears with impatience or even harsh self-criticism. So they have, for instance, you might repeat to yourself, what's my problem? Or you might resort to name calling, such as, I'm such a loser. However, if you can understand your fears and have compassion for them, then you are likely to respond with a more caring, supportive approach. And that goes to definitely how you talk to yourself plays a huge role in how you let a fear overtake your life. We all have to learn, like as it said, to not be so harsh within ourselves. That self-criticism takes over a lot of people, and like I said, stops people from doing a lot of different things. Encourage yourself. That's all I'm going to say. The next point is face your fear. Even though you may still feel afraid, that's just an emotion. It doesn't have to dictate what you do. Use the support you're giving yourself to help you overcome your fear. Make the decision to act, and then use your self-compassion to talk yourself through getting in the water. Yeah, I love that, because you really do have to just face it. That's, to me, that's the only way you're going to get through it, is facing your fear. You got to be a lion sometimes. I know everybody's not, all the time, but sometimes you have to have that moment where you aren't who you feel that you are in that moment, even though you are that person. If you don't feel that way, you still have to just do it. You have to almost like pretend that, that you're not afraid, and in that particular moment. And that's something I've learned, where I have to just go and just say the hell with it. Am I going to really let this fear of this right here stop me from getting to, the next step. And I think we all have to think about that. Just not letting fear restrict us from the freedom that we all can be living in life. And I have another quote here from Marcus Aurelius, who says, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." So I just wanted to share that because I thought that was really powerful to talk about. We have to sit here and start to learn how, to live. Every day is actually a chance we have to me, I feel like to start over in life. Like I said, I hear people say all the time, that time has passed, and they feel like they can't do certain things anymore, and I don't like when I hear people say that. I feel like you're never too old to do something. Like, I feel like there's always opportunity. I feel like no matter what your age is, that you can always change things. There's always an opportunity, always a time to change stuff. So you just can't feel like, one mistake in your life or one thing not going the way that you want, or a repeat of things not going the way that you want, doesn't mean your life is not going to change, that the direction of where your life is going. Because I feel like you still have control over a lot more. I was just telling Titus the other day, people feel like that they don't have any control because, like someone mentioned, the police killings in Memphis and all these different things that we have happening now already in 2023. All these different murders and killings and things going on, and people feel like they walk outside, you don't know what's going to happen, which is true. You really don't know, but you can't sit there and be in fear of living life and still finding ways to enjoy life, to live life. We've all lost people, like, as you guys know. I lost my mom recently, and the last thing I know my mom would want is for me to walk around and feel like life is over, that I need to just not care anymore, or not be here anymore, or be fearful of things that I said I wanted to do, be fearful that I may not be here myself. I can't sit here and imagine those type of things or have those type of thoughts. I have to think the opposite, actually. The fact that that I am fortunate to still be here, to live another day, which means I have another chance to do things that I said that I want to do, things that I have told her that I want to do. So how the hell can I sit here and dwell on the possibility of things not happening when I already spoke to my mom about the things that I know will happen? So I'm at that point in life where I have to just make those things happen, and not think about all those fearful thoughts of the possibilities of things not happening, the unknowns and things. I'm actually embracing the unknowns in life. I'm actually trying to embrace the fact that I don't know what's things that's going to happen. And we all know bad things happen. Things happen unexpectedly. We all know that. But unexpectedly is not always a bad thing, right? We know that as well. So it's just learning, like I said, learning to look at things all different ways. Very briefly, I want to share something from another article I have. It says how to stop worrying about things you cannot control. And they actually broke it into 3 parts. The first one is managing your worry. The second part is challenging your thoughts. And the third is diminishing your worry. One thing from the managing your worry that I want to share, the first 2 points, was to set a time limit on a worry. It says when you begin to worry about something, rather than simply trying to put it away from your mind, set a time limit on how long you will think about it. Actively trying to forget something often makes you think of that thing even more intensely. So don't try to ignore your feelings. Allow yourself to think for 5 or 10 minutes and then move on to more productive tasks. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and you're welcome, MJ. I just wanted to share that because I think, and I had this issue where we tend to focus on this worry for way too long, and I think worry is tied into that fear. We just dwell on something so long that we just never do it. It just keeps going on and on and on and stuff. The next thing is to make a list of your worries. When you are on the job or at school, you will need to be as focused as possible so that you can complete the task at hand. Once you are finished with all the work for the day, you can take a look at this list and address anything that is necessary. I think that's important too, to actually list out what your worries are, because you may find yourself realizing that what you thought was a high priority worry really wasn't. And you might have thought you had 10, and now you're down to just maybe 2 that's considered high priority worries. And now that itself can help you get through any worrying issues. The third point they have, it says delay your worrying. Another way to place a limit or parameter on your worrying is to find ways to delay it. Perhaps you're in the middle of a very important project, but then you start worrying about your children or husband. Commit to finishing at least a portion of the work that you have to do before you check in or give in to fear. So that is something that we can all practice on. The next part, like I said, is challenging your thoughts. They mention gathering the evidence. When a worry comes to your mind, consider what evidence you have that will lead you to believe that this worry is real. I think a lot of times we're all sitting there and worrying about something that's not even real to us. I don't know what that's about, but it's really sitting back and be like, is this even worthy of me spending my time thinking about? That's what I would say. They have other different points here. I don't want to necessarily get into all of them. If you guys want me to share with you, I will. It says determine how helpful this worry is. Take some time to consider what worries you are having, and then deem them either constructive or unconstructive. They also say consider whether the issue will matter in the long term. That's a big one, because typically it's not. I can just tell you guys that right now, probably won't even matter. I'm not even going to say in a year. Probably won't even matter in the next week. That worry that you were having. So something to think about. They also said find a more positive way of thinking about the situation. I'm very big on that, looking at things positively versus negatively. It makes a huge difference. The last part they have, it says diminishing your worry. Consider any possible solutions. After you have taken some time to de-escalate the worry in your mind, determine if your worry is at all solvable. You cannot control every situation, but you can control some things, including yourself. And I strongly believe that. Like I said, there's so many things out here. I feel like we don't have no control over anything. And that's not true. We do have control over things. And the things that we don't have control over, we just don't. That's something that, we're all facing in this world. We cannot control. We cannot control when someone passes away. We cannot control if someone hits us. We cannot control, if we're, laid off from this job. It's just part of life that we all have to learn to accept. So I'm at that place now where I am trying to look at the things that I do have control over. And that has helped me diminish some of the worries that I have. Hey, Auntie, that's my aunt, you guys, on Princess Francis. Thank you for joining. Like I said, my show tonight is my first show of 2023, and I'm here just discussing ways to not worry and how to get pretty much over your fears, or how to I would like to say, to use your fear to help yourself. That's a better way of saying it. So, so I'm just here, giving you guys all these different tips that you can utilize, because I feel like fear really does restrict people. And there's ways that, like I said, we can use fear to actually help us. One thing that has helped me as far as worrying goes, and I see this on this list here, is practicing mindfulness. I wake up every morning and I meditate between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on if I want to cook my eggs or not in the morning. And I would just sit down and I'll play calm music. It could be music, or it could just be, someone's voice on the video. So they say here, rather than spending so much time in your head, like a lot of us do, fretting over the future or worrying about what could happen, take some time each day to be present at the moment. When you feel yourself becoming worried, take some time to reflect on how you're feeling. So I just want you guys to hear me on that. Just feel yourself. I know it's hard for people to feel their own emotions. Mindfulness is very difficult for people to just sit to themselves and to not think about everything that's happening. To just sit with yourself is hard for people. It seems very simple, but it's hard to sit there and in peace and quiet and only have your thoughts there and trying to then clear out those thoughts from your head and actually be still and be mindful. So I just wanted to share those things. Um, if you guys have, any more comments that you would like to share with me, or any fears that you guys are working on yourself, any fears that you have now that you're trying to get through, even though you're still afraid or still terrified or fearful, whatever word choice you want to use, but you know that you still have to just do it. So you guys can feel free to share with that. I did want to share some quotes I had. I'm sure you've probably heard of some of these as well, but one of my favorite ones comes from Eleanor Roosevelt. Um, she said, "You must do the thing you think you cannot do," and I think that very much ties into doing what you fear while you're still afraid. I think we all know things that we must do, but we just we just don't do it. But we know we're conscious and we're smart enough to know that we should be doing them. So she said, "You must do the thing that you think you cannot do." So whatever it is you think you cannot do, you just have to do it. Um, Something else I wanted to mention that I came across is that courage is finding the strength deep within ourselves to do something we need to do, even when and especially if it's hard. It's pushing through despite feeling afraid. It may feel counterintuitive, but courage is often built by doing the very things that scare us, whether it's getting ready to give an important presentation or making a major life change. So you guys heard it from me, from this this printout. Um, Courage, courage, courage. I always think of the Wizard of Oz, but I'm thinking about courage. But we all have it. We just have to recognize that we have. And like I said, courage is often built by doing the very things that scare us. And we talk about having courage, but then we want to say in the next line that we're scared to do something, not realizing that what it is that scare us is what's going to build up the courage within ourselves. I also have another quote. It says, "Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen." That's by Brene Brown. So shout out to all the Browns out there. Thank you, Mackenzie. I'm just trying to share some things. When I come across quotes, I'm very big on the quotes, so I like to share things like that. One of my quotes is from comedian Bo Burnham. He says, "A big part of being confident is being brave, and you can't be brave unless you're scared." So that goes back to it is okay to be scared. And people have this big thing about not wanting to show that they're scared or that they're fearful. But that's something that is a part of life. As I just said, you cannot face anything. You cannot be courageous unless you actually have something that initially scares you to be courageous. So we do have to learn how to face our fears and embrace our fears and to jump into things head on, things that we feel like is impossible. Because I'm one of those strong believers. I don't feel like anything is impossible in this world. My mom, hiding behind me here, instilled that in me, that I can do anything that I want to do, no matter what it is. I don't care how big or small it may be to the next person, but what matters is how you view it, and most importantly, how you see yourself doing it, and not letting this fear stop you even while you are fearful of doing it. And I have one last quote here um, from Helen Keller, one of my favorite people that I studied growing up. "We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world." That's something that I thought was really touching for her to say. Sometimes we all look at this world as it's supposed to be one way or the other, but life is hard. Life has a lot of obstacles, lots of hardship, lots of pain that comes with it. But that is what builds up our characters. That is what helps us become courageous and learning how to face our fears and overcoming things and being brave in this world. And right now I'm at that place where I have no choice but to um, allow myself that chance to be brave, because I am very afraid of many things. But at the same time, I've had so many things that was meant for me to be fearful of, and I still came them in the face of adversity. And that's pretty much where I'm at right now, is just living life, without having this fear of things. Even when I know in the back of my mind I am fearful of something, not letting it overtake my life. Something my mother would not want me to do, certainly wouldn't want me to do, to live life in fear. Um, and I really haven't been a person that would live my life in fear. And I'm finding myself now more wanting to do things that others will look at as riskful or uh, fearful of, especially at my age. I consider myself still young, y'all, but at my age, like I said, next week is my birthday, 38 years old. And I know people now younger than me, actually, and the same age, who already feel like their life is done. And I'm just sitting there like, well, your life is just getting started. You're just figuring out who you are. I used to believe back in your 20s was the time for you to learn yourself. And pretty much I've learned now, reaching my 30s, and looking at others who have, that is when you actually start discovering who you are and what it is that you want to do, and where you would like the rest of your life to go. Some things don't happen in your life until you get to that place where you're prepared for them. Everyone's not prepared to have certain things yet in life, whether it's to have a family, or a house, or whatever it is that you want to say, or a certain level of success, until they're actually ready for it. I'm a strong believer that God does not give you something until you are ready for it, and you have to be willing to receive it as well. And that doesn't always happen at 21. It may not happen until 35, until 40, or even later. So we all have to learn how to accept that things happen when they're supposed to happen. They may not always happen the way that you want them to happen, and typically it doesn't happen the way that you plan it. Because it's not your plan, it's God's plan. So strong, like I said, strong believer in that. Something that I've witnessed over the course of my life, especially as an adult, losing so many people that I love, and losing so many things, and also gaining things back in life, and meeting new people coming into my life. And I've just learned how to embrace, like I said, embrace these fears and stuff I have. And I learned from so many different people in my life. And I try to take from everybody. I take a little bit from everyone, and it's definitely helped me get through these fears of mine, and these unknowns that I've had in life. So I just want to thank everybody out there that has been there, whether you know it or not. I'm sure you have influenced me in some way to do better in this world, and to not just settle and think, I'm at this age. It means like I need to just give up on things, and that's never the case. So you guys can follow me on on the Q Productions, and at Qadriyyah Marie on Instagram. I am about to sign off, but again, I wanted you guys to share any more thoughts and things that you might have. I appreciate everybody that has come on tonight and watched. Please share. Again, my next show is not going to be this Wednesday, but it will be the following Wednesday, and I'm planning to have a guest on. So I will make that announcement soon, of what the topic will be, and all that good stuff. So I'm just glad I came on tonight. I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing your thoughts and just watching me. And I had these printouts I wanted to share, because I am by myself tonight. Normally I have a guest, but I said, you know what, tonight, first show back, I'm okay with it, just being me. I guess I have my mom watching me, and Ty is here as well, supporting me, and Chloe. I don't know if y'all heard her in the back, but she was doing her little heat thing, just making her appearance known, like she always has to do. So I'm just feeling good. If you guys want me to, to share again any of the tips that I mentioned tonight, or if you just want to, reach out to me, I'm gonna have more shows probably related to this topic as well. And You guys know I'm going to always post about things like this. I always love, pushing people and encouraging people to get out of their comfort zone and just do things. We can't just sit here. We don't have the time. Literally, we don't have time to not do the things in life that we say we want to do, and to live a happy and healthy life. I don't care if you're 20 years old. I don't care if you're 8 years old. I don't care if you're 60 or 85. We have to go and do the things that we say we're going to do. And I'm a big believer in actually writing down these things, your daily goals, your monthly goals, your 5-year goals, please. And I'm telling myself this, and I have started this, but I want to just encourage you guys and encourage myself as well, again, to actually write these things down and actually start to take action. Writing it down is the first step, and I think the hardest. But then the next step is actually going back and looking at what it is that you said that you plan to do this week, today, next month, the next 6 months, and start implementing it. And once things become part of your daily routine, it just gets much easier. Just becomes natural, just like going to the gym, it's always difficult, after it's been a break. But once you start going 3 times a week, now you're like, oh, okay, a month has passed. Now I can go 4 times. And you just start amping it up, and you just naturally, you just go and you don't even really think about it. You just have a set time, and you have a backup time that you go, and you might end up finding a partner to go with you. You might meet somebody at the gym. There's all different things that could happen. So, and you guys know I love networking and meeting new people and talking to people, and it just has helped me tremendously in life. And I feel like I have more of that, to do, and more things to accomplish this 2023, as well as you guys. So I'm excited to hear what you guys have, going on, or what you have planned to do this 2023. The year, has just started. So I just send love and blessings to all of you out there. Thank you, MJ. Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. It's a topic I feel like we all share unanimously. And I just want to talk about that tonight. Just tell y'all, just even when you are afraid, to just go and do it, afraid or not, especially if you're afraid, is exactly when you need to go and do whatever it is you feel like, as she said, that you cannot do. We just got to go and just do it, not overthinking, and don't dwell so much on the things that we don't have, control over, or things that we even do have control over. Don't worry about it too much. As I love to say, don't worry about tomorrow, today. We all are guilty of that. Always thinking about, I got this bill to pay. I got to do this at my job. I got to take this test here. And it's just so many things to worry about. And you're sitting up there worrying about things that you either don't have control over, or it's not necessary to worry so much about. Sometimes we just have to let things just happen as is, and then deal with it after that, and not worry so much about the what ifs, because, well, what if it actually turns out to be even better than you imagine. And that goes back to up here. What's up, Marty? Thank you, Marty, for joining, and thank you, Marty, for reaching out to me earlier just to check up on me. I appreciate everybody that has been checking up on me. Excuse me again, Ty gave me this cold, so here I go with my nose. That's probably my signal to come off. But again, I just wanted to thank you guys, all the texts and calls and the DMs, since my mom's passing, reaching out to me and just checking up and seeing how I'm doing. So like I said earlier, I'm okay, but I'm also not okay at the same time. And that's okay. That's where I'm at right now. And, each day, I'm just learning, how to accept life without my mother here. But, I also know my mother is still here with me and so many other ways, but it's not the same as her physically, being here or being a phone call, away. So that's going to be one of my biggest challenges in life. And I've been told that by other people who have, lost their moms, and who were close to their mothers, that's going to be one of the hardest parts. The next couple years, not just the next few months, but the next couple years, dealing with all the firsts. I've already had the first Christmas without her, the first New Year's, and now it's going to be my first birthday without her. So this is, definitely not a easy time period in my life. But I'm also at the point where I have to make that decision. Am I going to sit there and just, let her loss be in a way where it takes my life downside. Like I said, there's a choice between downside or looking at fear as the upsides of it. So I have to sit there and realize, that this is something that I'm going to just eventually have to learn to accept and learn how to still move on, in life. Because my mother is always going to be part of me. I'm half of her. So she's always here because obviously I'm here. So as long as I'm here, my mother is here as well as my father. So something that has helped me is knowing that, I'm here and I'm here to do all the things that, I said I want to do. And like I said, things I have told her that I want to do. So that's what she would want me to do, is to still live and to live out, my dreams and goals that I have said to her, because why would I not do that? That wouldn't be respectful to her memory, for me not to do that. So that's why I'm here tonight, doing my podcast, because like I said, my mom did not miss a show. So, and if she did, she came back on and made sure she was seen, at some point. So that's why I'm here. I have to continue on for her. So love you guys. What's up, cuz? What's up? I just want to say again, love and blessings to all of you out there. Feel free to always reach out to me. And, I'm just a DM away. If you guys have my number, you can call, text me and stuff. I am on TikTok as well at Qadriyyah Marie, and of course on Instagram. And here, you guys that are watching, always reach out to me. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week and wonderful weekend. I will be enjoying myself for my birthday weekend. So I'm about to be 29 for the 10th time again. So I'm going to celebrate my 29th, 10th anniversary, y'all. So again, love you guys and have a good night. Peace out.